This video is sponsored by Oceanwide Expeditions.
We've just had a pretty incredible morning. We've been cruising from Coronation Island, where we were last night, and headed towards Elephant Island. And mid-morning, we started encountering some absolutely astounding icebergs. Massive, massive tabular icebergs. And whales just everywhere. Fin whales, sei whales, humpback whales. The culmination of all that is we just cruised by the world's largest iceberg. And there were light-mantled albatross, black-browed albatross, lots of other birds associated with it. And the iceberg itself is just absolutely astonishing. You can't take your eyes off of the thing. So beautiful. Kind of fogged in towards the end, so I was really trying to shoot some birds against the iceberg to give it a little bit of scale, because it's really impossible to convey how big this thing is when you're just looking off the side of the ship, filming it, compared to actually looking at it. Massive, insanely big. But it's getting a little foggy, so it was a little tough to get any birds against the iceberg. I'd just been shooting the iceberg for so long. I finally changed gears to birds. It was a little too late, but absolutely stunning, awesome thing to see. I didn't know I'd be so into icebergs, but pretty cool. So there's a lot of fulmars around. I haven't shot any fulmars yet, so I'm going to work on getting some fulmar shots now, and we'll see what happens as we head towards Elephant Island. Hey there, quick update. After our exciting night last night with the huge Chinstrap Penguin colony, we set sail again towards Elephant Island, and the weather got crazy and has remained crazy since then. Just blistering winds. And we're seeing our first snowfall here as well, so it's definitely getting a little colder and a little wilder as we approach Antarctica. So we've set a course farther south, and we're currently at Deception Island, and that's at the very southern end of the South Shetland Islands. Basically, we're on the inside of an active volcanic caldera, and it's given us a little bit of a shelter, but it's the only place we could find anywhere we could go ashore. People could stretch their legs a bit. So there's a bunch of people out right now hiking in the caldera, up the cinder cone behind me here. But basically, we're in for a lot of rough weather again, it looks like. So the winds are just not in our favor. It's been pretty brutal today. So I'm just hoping our fortunes finally change a bit when we get to the Antarctic Peninsula. The forecast still does not look good. But we may find a little more shelter up along the peninsula and find some little pockets where hopefully we can see some whales and penguins and all that kind of stuff. So fingers crossed. One last hurdle here to get over the Antarctic Peninsula, and wish us luck. about 6:30 in the morning, and we woke up sailing into a fjord, and our first look at the Antarctic continent behind me. The weather looks decent, and the spectacular scenery around us is just incredible. Massive glaciers, ice, beautiful mountains. I think the plan for today is to do some zodiac cruises early and possibly look for some different species of seals and hopefully some humpback whales if we get really lucky. Beautiful white surroundings, a little bit of snow in the air, just absolutely gorgeous. We have just had an absolutely stunning first day in Antarctica. We finally had some luck with the weather. We woke up surrounded by this enormous landscape, glaciers, mountains, just enormous geological features and ice features. We started the morning with a zodiac cruise through a big bay surrounded by these incredible mountains and glaciers. It was full of humpback whales. We had some really close encounters with humpback whales while they were feeding for a couple of hours. And then in the afternoon, we headed to a Chinstrap penguin colony that was in this little cove surrounded by these incredible mountain peaks. And the colony was actually up quite high. We had to climb up this little hill to get up to them, and they're up there nesting among the rocks. They have pretty grown chicks right now. And just watch them interact. Some birds were displaying, other birds were feeding chicks, some birds were coming and going. And again, it was just, the landscape surrounding them was just absolutely phenomenally, stunningly beautiful. And the light today, for periods, was just the silver light across the landscape, and every shade of blue and gray and white, and just insanely beautiful. So I just shot like mad. It was really hard to know where to point the camera, but I think I got some good shots today for sure. But man, it's just incredible.
Our first day in Antarctica was filled with awe, wonder, and reverence for the immensity and beauty of this icy continent, and for the creatures who accepted us into their lives here without a second glance. Join me soon for the final episode of my journey to Antarctica with Ocean-Wide Expeditions.